free world.
So, did you know you can get a ticket for honking your car horn?
Nazi! Nazi!
Freeze the bank account of everyone who protests against me. Good luck paying your rent or buying food.
Yeah, so there has been freedom rallies and extensions of the original Freedom Convoy happening. Some media have called one of them, for example, the Freedom Convoy 2.0, which rolled into Ottawa about a week ago. They've been happening in every province across Canada. And it's all been going on at the same time that convoys are happening south of the border in the USA. Recently, there was one really close to where I am in Victoria, the capital city of BC. And the police have set up barricades not allowing traffic into something like 8 square blocks of the city, anywhere near the government buildings, the legislature here in BC. And I remember posting about it on a YouTube community post a little while ago, and people were like, oh wow, that's like a police state, you know, that would never happen where I live, whatever country that is, and a lot of the time it was the USA. Ironically, in Washington, D.C., they did the same thing, you know, with their convoy going down there, and they actually blocked pedestrians from getting into that area too. At least here in Victoria, you're still allowed to go and protest on bicycles and on foot. They're just stopping the vehicle traffic. But even that isn't acceptable. That's all been happening, and it's been happening in many other cities. And one of the places they put in the horn injunction is in Calgary, Alberta, and people have been getting tickets.
Have you been involved with this much, or do you know the background of it? You did? Okay. So there's a court injunction in progress. The incessant honking of your horn, not allowed. So I could go one of two ways. We could charge you with breaching a court order. That's serious. Or I can give you an $81 ticket for honking your horn when you're not supposed to. You're waving your flag, giving them a thumbs up, smile, whatever you want to do. But when you honk your horn a whole ton of times, that's what caused all the trouble about the court injunction. I have no choice but to enforce that. Okay?
We're allowed to honk at the Ukrainian protest.
There's no court injunction in place there.
Oh, so it's politically motivated.
Whatever you need to hear. So when you go up here,
No train
100%.
so you have to make a left. So you have to leave now, otherwise they're going to tow your car. Right up here.
I still have my voice.
That's good to hear.
Thank you.
Go on.
Freedom! Freedom!
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much. Drive before they arrest you.
And go honk at the Ukrainian protest.
You did it again?
Don't get a ticket for that.
There's a lot of people who were kind of neutral on the issue, or people that were outright against the convoys. You know, they're against freedom. They think big government is good because they're living in an unfounded fear, and they think we all have to be good little citizens and do whatever the government tells us to do to keep them safe. That's what they believe. So they live in this absolutely unfounded, unscientific paranoia, and so they actually advocate for more and more and more government encroachment into our lives. So some of them are actually now complaining. They're like, why are these convoys still happening? The mandates are all lifted now. Are they not aware that you still can't get on a plane or a train and travel across this country without a QR code segregation passport? Are they aware that there's still places you have to put a muzzle on your face? Are they unaware that people are still losing their jobs because of mandates? Nothing has changed. And media, they've been caught in all these lies since the beginning of the Freedom Convoy. CBC, the state-run media, of course, had to retract their story and issue their retraction on their website. Of course, nobody sees that. They were putting out these stories about all this foreign funding to the Freedom Convoy and trying to make it look like it was this U.S. Republican operation funding it. Turns out that the vast majority of donors to the Freedom Convoy were from right here in Canada. Meanwhile, foreign funding from extremist activist groups like the Tides Foundation and others like that fund our elections. So why is that not interference when they advocate for the Liberal government to get elected and they pump all this money into Canada. But if you want to fund a bunch of, flag-waving freedom lovers with bouncy castles, oh, yeah, you're a domestic terrorist now. And if you're in the USA, geez, you must be working for Trump or something. Like, this is what our media was trying to do. They're trying to find anything they could to smear what was going on because, of course, media, government, one and the same. So they got caught in that lie and the lie about firearms at the Freedom Convoy.
Yes or no, Interim Chief, were loaded firearms found in the trucks during the protest clearing operation? Yes or no?
So as I indicated, Mr. Chair, there has been no charges laid to date in relations to weapons at the occupation site.
It's just a clear question, Interim Chief. Like, were weapons found? Like, were loaded firearms found? Yes or no?
So in relation to, no, not
Okay.
to relating to any charges to this point.
Thank you, Chief. That's very illuminating. On March 19th, this past Saturday, a reporter, Justin Ling, wrote in the Toronto Star, quote, that police sources indicated that loaded shotguns were found in trucks at the Ottawa protest. Is this false information?
So I'm unfamiliar with the quote you're referring to, but as I indicated before, we received intelligence information, continue criminal investigations, and no charges have been laid to date in relation to firearms.
But the article claims that a police source told journalists that loaded shotguns were found in trucks during the protest clearing operation, and you have said to this committee that that is in fact not the case, that loaded shotguns were not found in trucks during the protest clearing operation. Is that the case, Interim Chief?
So thank you for the question. Mr. Chair, as I indicated, we received intelligence information. I'm unclear around the source information that was received for that article or the corroboration around it, but we have not laid any charges
Interim Chief,
in relation.
Can you clarify, Interim Chief, speaking on the record, not off the record, that loaded shotguns were not found in the vehicles during the protest operation? Can you confirm that?
So yeah, consistent with my answer previously, yes, I can confirm to date.
Thank you.
No charges have been laid.
So we had a cabinet minister, the Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations, Mark Miller, retweeted that article from Justin Ling from the Toronto Star, claiming that there were loaded shotguns found in trucks. This is misinformation, Chief, and I submit to the committee. Misinformation being spread by journalists and misinformation being spread by a member of this government.
I could go on and on and on, but all these media stories were false, but it's after the fact now. So, and 90% of the population doesn't realize that those stories were ever false in the first place. And that's the problem, is media puts out whatever they want, and then later on, quietly, oops, we were wrong, or oops, we got caught.